Do you like farming simulators? What about mechanized walkers? If you answered yes to both of those questions, Lightyear Frontier is probably your perfect game. Recently released into early access by developers Framebreak and Amplify Studios, Lightyear Frontier is a sci-fi adventure farming sim, where you set up shop on an alien planet with nothing but your mech walker and a weirdly southern-sounding AI system. In the game's intro, you crash land on the planet's surface during your search for a new interstellar home. In the process of your uncontrolled descent onto the planet, you misplace your trusty mech suit by pooping it out the back of your ship. Once you make it to the ground and confirm that your fingers, toes, and crotch nose are all intact, you make contact with the previously mentioned AI, named Piper, who directs you to finding and putting together the pieces of your mech. Once that's done, you get to grips with the plodding movement of the mech as you collect the varying add-on tools, including drill saw, water hose, vacuum, seed and tree gun thing. The gameplay boils down to two things: building your farm and fixing the environment. You claim a little parcel of land, hopefully near some water to make irrigation easier later, and the idea is that you look after various alien plants. By planting the seeds, watering them every day, and ensuring they're kept safe from the occasional weed storm and sludge bubble attack, you ensure that they grow big and strong and you can harvest them once they're fully grown. When you're finished being a green thumb, you go out exploring your new home planet. You work your way through several different biomes and help clean them of toxic sludge and infestations of weeds. Once you've completed cleaning an area, it's able to grow new resources like plants and metals, providing a new tier of technology for you to upgrade either your mech tools or the farming machinery available back at base, such as grinders and fabricators. When you're back home, you use all the materials you've gathered to craft decorations for your base, or the new farming equipment I just talked about. I appreciated that the crafting allows you to pull directly from your storage units, rather than needing you to have it in your mech inventory, particularly as the starting inventory of the mech is rather limited. Lightyear Frontier gave me the kind of vibe if you cross the visual style of Astroneer with the mechanized AI partner bits from Riftbreaker, and then crammed the chilled out guitar music of Outer Wilds right into its butt crack. Man, that's a weird visual. The thing is, and I want to stress this game has no challenge. In other games you select your difficulty, easy, medium or hard. This game says, nah, fuck that, we're playing on padded room setting. And this is a clear design choice to maximize the opportunity for you to just play this game without any distraction of enemies to fight, or a time crunch to beat. It's kind of like you've lost your watch, and you've come across a guy without a shirt, and you say, hey man, can I ask you, what's the time? And he looks up and sees the sun, and says, oh bro, it's daytime. This game is like that. It runs on island time. And I get it, it kind of works. It's nice after playing PTSD generators like Helldivers 2 and the grimdark of Warhammer 40k games. It can be a great relief to sit back and just irrigate your ball fruits. So I think that aspect of Lightyear Frontier, the no challenge part, will be pretty divisive. You'll either be very into it, or you'll be just a little bored by it. Between farming your crops and cleaning up the environment, the campaign will probably take you around 8 to 12 hours roughly as it stands. I myself haven't actually reached the end of the campaign yet, and I'll get into that in a second. I briefly want to touch on the graphics and the music. I love the look of this game. Like I said, it's quite reminiscent of Astroneer in the colour palette, but while it retains that cartoonish style, the components of the world aren't as chunky as that game. It's fair to say it's quite stunning. It also runs really quite nicely with solid frame rates consistently, and I haven't yet had a single crash, which is always a surprise for an early access offering. For those that have seen my review of the game Lone Star and my playthrough of Outer Wilds, you'll pretty much know where I stand on the music here. It's that chill banjo and guitar music that is like slow waves of relaxation to my cortex, begging me just to sit back, stop stressing about the world, and just let some adventure come to me. I just love it. It's uncanny how much the title screen music is just a slightly different iteration of the Outer Wilds theme. They're almost interchangeable. The voice acting is pretty decent, and it was nice having Piper along for the companionship through the game. Like a lot of people, I did get a bit fed up of hearing her say the same lines over and over. The whole wake up sleepyhead thing, oh god, that just annoyed me.
Good morning, sleepyhead. The decorating you did yesterday really lit up the place. It's really beginning to feel like a home.
The good news is you can turn Piper's voice interjections off in the settings menu. And while this doesn't get rid of her entirely, it does reduce the amount she butts in a decent amount. So, great graphics, great music, and I've touched on what the gameplay is, but how does it feel to play through? Well, I have seen some complaints about the mech movement being borderline unwieldy. And yeah, look, there's definitely a sense of big metal boy inertia that can hinder you when you're trying to make tight turns in the jungle. But honestly, I wasn't that fazed. If anything, it made it feel more real. It's a mech, for God's sake. It's not a f***ing Lotus Elise. It's probably close to 10 tons of machinery. It's not going to make agile turns on a dime. The other thing is, while it's pretty and pleasant to listen to, as it stands now, there's not much to do. And after 5 hours, I was having a bit of trouble staying interested. I mean, every day was the same. I'd wake up, harvest the plants that were mature, water the rest, plant some more seeds, and then I'd chat to Noonwraith. That's what I called the sales rep that seems to leave as soon as the clock hits noon. I'd talk to her about what's on sale. Just a quick side note, there's a kind of economy where things will be cheaper and more expensive, so you can sometimes make more of a profit if you sell at the right time. Once I'd done my daily trading, I'd move to the current biome I'm working on cleaning. The travel time is long, and it's kind of a kick in the balls of keeping me invested. I'd hose the sludge, farm the weeds, feed the animal nests, and then go back home, and sleep and do the same thing all over again. Sure, I might unlock some more tech and upgrade some stuff before bed, but so far I haven't found any of the upgrades particularly engaging. I did like the transforming mode that lets me make roads, that was pretty cool. So that's pretty much Lightyear Frontier, a nice sedate chill game that you can play solo or with friends, where you can grow plants and piss the sludge away. I do like what they're aiming for with this game. I appreciate the non-combat gameplay angle. There are too few games like this, and I disagree with those comments on Steam that I've seen saying that it needs some animal threats like Satisfactory has. I'd probably go for more environmental threats or challenges that could be solved with mechanical means. Like take for example ravines that need to be traversed by a bridge building function, or lava caverns that require a hovercraft transform feature of your mech. Hell, add a bit of a builder function so you can outfit your mech, allowing only a few extra transformational functions. Flight, bridge building, hovercraft, some kind of faster land traversal mode? I don't know. There's probably not enough ways currently that you can express your creativity with the mech. You can add different style arms and legs and generators to it, and even paint it different colors. I think as a player I'd appreciate this being leaned into a bit more, but with added ability of affecting how I interact with the world, making it meaningful in addition to being sort of a pimp my mech situation. I think if you're like me and a lot of what you enjoy in games is overcoming a challenge, you'll probably struggle to enjoy Lightyear Frontier. I am here to help with some suggestions of games that are a little similar, but have a little bit more of a challenge to them. So for example, if you're looking for more of a planet mining, solar system exploring game with a hidden plot and a cutesy style, I'd highly recommend checking out Astroneer, which I've previously mentioned. If you're more looking for that mech style gameplay, but you want a lot more combat, definitely have a look at Riftbreaker. If you're liking the exploration, but you want more customizability of vehicles, and you may be a big LEGO fan, can I suggest a game called Trailmakers? And if you're interested, I actually have a playthrough of that game you can check out right up here. So, to wrap up, I like a fair bit of what's going on here, and I like the potential. I was one of the people that was a little bored by the lack of challenge, but I see the appeal to other people, provided you go into this game with the understanding that it's more of a farm simulator and not a survival game. You could probably have a pretty good time. I'm giving it the side thumb rating because I can't really recommend it to a wide audience. I think it has a more niche appeal, and this might change as the devs add in more content and it gets a bit closer to that 1.0 release. With some more farming content and some increased customization of the mech, particularly if it allows different methods of world traversal, I could see this being more of an easy recommend in future. Irrigate your ball fruits.